I wasn't nervous, but then I looked at the schedule starting in 11 days. And I started to think, wow, Massara has like less than 2 weeks to fill in three, maybe four positions. And I started to feel a lot less relaxed. And I think I have past couple weeks since I've been back on the channel. What's going on? It's been a very hot couple days here in New Jersey. I put in my volunteer application for the World Cup. Let's see if that happens. It's crazy. As much money as FIFA has, they need volunteers. How about I volunteer, but you also give me like $2,000 because you're making billions? Whatever. There's a lot of names that have been going around. A couple excite me. A couple make my head scratch. We're going to have my buddy Ben Clemens on the channel today. He is a social media guy who works for Charleston Battery in the USL. He's an interesting person to talk to. We'll get his perspective on things. We're going to look at his starting 11. You can see he's jumped in the chat right now. But I want to go over some of these names, and I'll put them here at the bottom. You can take a look at them. I'm going to present some of the things that I've been going through today. So one of those guys, let's say Dovbyk does get sold to Sunderland or Leeds, which is probably the most possible, most realistic move this Mercato. Which I think should happen. I'm not pro Dovbyk anymore. He's out for me. I'm done with him. Maybe that sounds a little too. I don't say I'm done with him. He's still a Roma player, right? I respect him, and he can still score a bunch of goals under Gasperini, the way that maybe even Retegui had. Could Retegui have had the season in Spain that Dovbyk had the year before he signed? I don't know, but I do know that Gasp does get the best out of these center forwards. I just feel like he's limited, and that's why like my heart gives up on Dovbyk a little. But let's look at Krstovic here. This is the guy that the leading journalists are saying is the number one target to replace him, along with another player. There's like back and forth comments here with him and Fabio Silva. But let's look at the guy who I really think is the number one target here in Krstovic. So market value about 15. They're asking 25. I could see it end up for 21.5, 22, somewhere about around that. So Montenegrin center forward. I think he's a talented player, but more so than his talent, he's got a rocket of a shot. You can see he's played throughout Red Star, big team in Serbia. Before joining Lecce, he was also at another team in Serbia as well. And yeah, he's only been with them for 2 seasons. So last season, bunch of goals. You could see, I'm just looking at here, 18 goals in his 72 matches in Serie A, 7 assists. It's the assists that does it for me. He's a good layoff forward. He's a good teammate. He's also pretty fast. He's going to press. He's got a rocket of a shot. So to me, like players, fans, they'll compare him to Vucinic. Serbian comes over, Serbia, Montenegro, very close relations and ethnicities. And there's that like immediate, easy comparison. It's a layup. Is he like Vucinic? Honestly, I have to say kind of, yeah, he is. Also that the fact that he came from Lecce. But their playing style is very similar. You could say that Vucinic was more of a winger compared to the way that Krstovic plays, big, tall center forward. But this is, I think, the most pragmatic striker deal. When I look at the other option here in Fabio Silva, I don't know. There was one point that I wanted to mention about Krstovic here. Look at this line of different tournaments that he's played in, all within Montenegro. And then you could see the last one here. That's those statistics from Serie A. That's 37 matches played last season, 11 goals and 5 assists in the league. And that's pretty good. 16 goal contributions for Lecce. Yeah, I'll take it. Now we move on to Fabio Silva, and he's about like 23, 24. But look where he's played. He's from Porto, left, joined Benfica as a 14-year-old, up with Porto for quite a while, goes to Wolves, goes on a bunch of loans. He's in the Netherlands for PSV. He's at Rangers. He's at Las Palmas in La Liga before finally ending back at Wolves. And he's only 23 years old, right? Yeah, 23. That's crazy. What's going on with him? I think I need you guys, if you're watching this and you're an expert on EPL or you watch it way more than I do, I need your opinion on what's going on with him. Why is he being thrown all around world football, and yet Wolverhampton want to get rid of him? So, yeah, help me with that real quick if you can. throw a comment in. Also, who would you prefer, Fabio Silva or Krstovic? So a player I really like here, Gustavo Sa, young attacking midfielder. Young, born in 2004, which is crazy. I was 14 years old. 2004, very weird. Rudy Galetti, he's a journalist, pretty active on Twitter. I don't know how well he holds up, but he's saying that Roma are definitely in pursuit of him. And it makes sense to me because he's a big attacking midfielder. From the clips I've seen, just like you, I watch the same stuff. I don't have Y Scout or anything super professional. But as I watch these clips on YouTube, I look at a player who can win the ball back. Yeah, he's big, has a brain, super talented, and would be very fluid in helping Roma's attack, especially connecting those dots in that quick transition from defense to attack and on the counter press. So I'm in favor of this. Maybe Roma can get that done for like 10 million euros. The amount of talent coming out of Portugal right now is absolutely berserk. A couple other names, Ezal Zuli, who played at Barcelona for one point in his career, also pretty young, doesn't have good statistical showing, like maybe a couple goals last year, nothing crazy. I also read that former Roma target O'Reilly agrees personal terms with Juventus. A little bummed about that because I felt like he would have been a great player for Gasperini in that same role that we're talking about for Gustavo Sa. So we'll see how that plays out. It's crazy with Donnarumma, like PSG showing him the door. Guy wins, he's won the Euro, he's just won the Champions League, and they want to get rid of him. Strange one. West Ham, okay, there was supposed interest with Lorenzo Pellegrini, but he wants to stick around. The captain, of course, it's his team. This is either going to go one way or the other. It's going to be terrible. He's going to be frozen out. His contract's going to expire as a Roman, and that's going to be the end of his tenure in Rome. Very long, and it could have worked out differently. I think if he had kept his fitness, perhaps his mentality was different. On the other hand, and my friend Patrick, who's a friend to this channel, he's been on here, he thinks that maybe it's the last chance saloon for Pellegrini. Like maybe he could get something out of him. And I have maybe 5% hope. One, because I value Patrick's opinion, but also because when you look at that player, like that attacking mid who needs to win the ball back, perhaps that can be Pellegrini. Perhaps he can be an extra arm for Gasperini. Maybe it's just as a regular center mid. Maybe it's as an attacking mid. I can't see him play anywhere on the wing. This concerns me here. Next up, a dry loan for Echeverrie. This is what they're claiming that Roma are willing to accept now. I'm not in favor of a dry loan by any means. Why would Roma go out and just look to develop? I'm going to text Ben to come on now. Why would they just try to add a player in who's just going to be around for 1 year, no option? Perhaps it's a backdoor type of deal where they get him to come over on loan, and then the player loves it, wants to stick around, and decides or makes a big fuss and eventually gets his way, and Roma get him on a discount type of deal. That's the only thing I could really imagine for that. So I've got my buddy Ben. He's going to be coming on any second now. Let's see if he can get his camera up and ready. But in the meantime, yeah, so that left wing is a big problem. It's going to continue to be a problem, I think, until it's not looking soon. So perhaps even until round 2, that could be a possibility here. So let's see. Ben, you got to say hello, my friend. What's going on?
What's up, Wayne? Doing
How
good.
you doing?
Hanging in there,
I'm going to give us a nice full screen. There we go. What's up, Ben?
I'm on my phone as well as my computer, so I can try to pretend I know what I'm talking about while I look up things at the same time.
It's all good. It's all good. I was telling everybody that you handle the marketing and the social media over at Charleston Battery for the USL. Can you tell us just a little bit about your role and what you do over there, how much fun you're having?
Yeah, I've been there for the last couple seasons now, in my 5th season in the game. Yeah, as you kind of mentioned, it's pretty much, it from a real high level. Social media, PR, communications, all goes towards the marketing efforts for the team. Been doing it, it's my 5th season. It's kind of evolved over the years, but whether it's posting on social media, taking photos, a little bit of design here and there. Don't do as much design as I used to. Yeah, and pretty much anything that's digital and kind of is on our public pages. Yeah, that's kind of what what I'm doing and working with our players, our coaches, media members, and from a PR perspective. It's a lot of every day something new, something different. So it's yeah. Each week is a new adventure. I'll say.
Nice. Are you from South Carolina?
No. I'm not. I grew up in the province
Rochester.
of Rochester, New York.
That's right. I knew that.
If I ride or die.
Yeah. Big Italian
But,
community out there as well.
yeah, so I grew up there. Was originally families from Florida. That's why we then kind of moved down to South Carolina, and then went to school here for a little after undergrad at Michigan State, and stayed here after getting to know people at the club, and eventually got hired or was hired after a little this, a little that.
You're a true American all around the country.
I am. I like to say I'm a cultural chameleon. Just kind of fit in wherever I am. But
Ben, was that your first job in sports?
First full-time job. I had worked in sports undergrad at Michigan State, just as a student assistant, and then at College of Charleston did a similar thing as a grad assistant, doing working for all the different sports. But at Michigan State, I worked specifically with football, college football. I did also with our athletic communications. It's funny, when I worked with athletic communications as a student there, one of the assistant coaches on Michigan State's team is now the current head coach at the Charleston Battery, Ben Pierman. So we actually worked together when I was a student, and he was an assistant. We didn't know each other, but I'm sure I handed him a stat sheet once or twice at halftime. So,
that's impressive.
That's kind of funny.
I started laughing in the middle of your story because I noticed your title there, CVO.
Oh, I think I did that with when Vincenzo joined, and I was just like chilling in the waiting room, just wondering what would happen. So I put that there, and I guess it stuck. Or stayed.
So Ben, it's a nice story, and if you guys have any questions for Ben, you can leave a comment too. I'm sure he'd be willing to help you out. Ben's a really nice dude, and the real reason he's here though is not to find out what he likes to do in his free time or his long walks on the beach in South Carolina, as nice as that may be. But we really want to know what your starting 11 is for Gasparini. Match day 1, 11 days away.
Yeah, I realized, I'm telling you, man, I wrote this and I never changed it. And now
okay.
I would probably changes. It's on the back.
We can discuss it. It's okay.
I wrote it on the back of my grocery list too, so it's been just sticking around until I finally actually went and got groceries. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember what was the thought process here. But
give me your back three.
Yeah, it's. I would probably at this point now go after a couple preseason games and seeing. I'd probably go Nadika, Mancini, and Gilardi. I'm gonna butcher some names here, man. That's not my strong suit, but that's probably the three I got. I had Wesley in there initially. I don't know if we're talking day one starting. If he's.
True.
I would wonder if he's ready. The confidence levels and stuff like that. Maybe he needs a little extra time to acclimate and that. It seemed like in some of those friendlies you could kind of maybe see some nerves, even though maybe it wasn't the whole time, but you could kind of see moments of maybe he's just receiving the ball with a little bit of a heavy touch or whatever it might be. I think that's just sometimes it takes a player, or sometimes it takes players, when they're going into a new environment like that, and especially being a highly touted transfer, just maybe take some, let them settle in and to calm their nerves a little bit. So that's maybe where I'd go there. So that's the back three. I'm going to talk like I know anything about tactics and like I have a coaching license over here. And then for the four, Angelino El Neil, because I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, Manu Kone, and I put Sule there on the right winger side. It gives you a lot of a nice, and I think what's kind of nice is you kind of see the chemistry between Neil and Kone already kind of starting to develop, which is good, which you like to see. I don't have Cristante there, although I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up starting. I think you get a little bit more, and then I do have my subs here listed too. But But I think those two kind of offer a little bit more, just a little bit more. Going to the no, it's not really a front three because it's 2-1, but I put Baldanzi and Dybala. I kind of just gave him like a little arrow between the two. As you see there, because I think
it's fluid.
Because I think they're both left-footed, or at least Baldanzi is.
Yeah,
so I would say I'm not the coach, but I'd say, you know what, fellas, just go out there, have some fun, and kind of go wherever the vibes take you. I mean, if
you Ted Lasso?
It's if it's looking like have Dybala on the right or vice versa, I think my thing for that one really though is I just think you gotta get Baldanzi on the field. You just gotta let him play. It just seems like he's kind of been just a I don't want to say victim of circumstance, but he's just never had a chance to really get those constant minutes and really kind of do what he was brought in for. So I think it would be. I would just kind of just stick him in there, and if it doesn't work out at first, just keep him in, let him get those reps and build that confidence. And I think he's all.
Dovbyk,
Ferguson. I threw in Ferguson now. I had in Dovbyk originally, but if it's looking like he's gonna be shipped out, then I guess he can't really be in the lineup if he's not on the team. That usually doesn't bode well. So I mean that just kind of leaves it there. I had Dovbyk originally. It just seems like he's a little bit more durable of a player, and without, or at least at the time, not having too many injuries. And now all of a sudden, in the preseason, he's the injury machine, or at least that's what the reports say. And just established familiarity with his teammates, and if we're talking first game of the season, that always helps. But I mean, it sounds if he's gone, then that just kind of leaves Ferguson. But that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world.
It's not the most outlandish take, Sule, on the right. It's important to remember that this role is not just a right back. It's not really a wing back. It's like a guy who busts his butt up the entire flank. And if you look at Manchester United, they use Ahmad in that role. Ahmad is a pure right winger, but he's deployed by their coach in a much more athletic type of role. So I see what you're saying by not throwing Wesley into the fire just yet. Let him acclimate a couple more weeks instead of just guy gets off the boat and immediately you're starting right back. Making that jump from South American competition to European is quite difficult. But I think in time, that's all his. I like Wesley a lot. So I think in time, he's going to become a great player for Roma.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the thing how it goes. Sometimes players, it takes them, like even Sule. I mean, it took him a while to finally, you could see in that first half of the year last season.
Yeah,
it took him a while to finally, get his confidence going, and then you kind of saw, in the later stages that he was, he was kind of the baller that.
Yeah, and now he's like one of the best players in the entire league. So one of the most exciting.
And
then you want to tell it. Go ahead.
I mean, my subs I had, two of them now win in the lineup, but El Shaarawy, Cristante, and then I don't know if Wrench will still be on the team, but he was the other sub that I had just written down. I kind of forgot about that section that I wrote down, but
Ben, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Is there one player aside from like Lamine Yamal or Mbappe who you would love for Roma to sign?
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question, Wayne. Yes, such good questions. Ruben, 100%, 1,000%.
Ruben Neves?
Oh, yes. My man. As a Wolverhampton enjoyer, man, he'd rock our world if he was on our team. Just put him anywhere. He'll score from anywhere.
Yeah, he's great. Him and Vitinho are an amazing combination. Portuguese.
I think I might have been carnival barking in one of your streams about him, saying like we should go after him, or that Roma should go after him, but never had that money because he was an expensive player. But
he was great.
He was someone. I mean, before he went to Saudi Arabia. I mean, he was like the heart. He became the heart and soul of Wolves' team, and just an exciting player. And he could put a ball anywhere from anywhere, and just electric with.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
funny.
running joke that you kind of just saw he only scored from outside the box. That's all. Just strictly bangers, and it's just incredible. I think he had one goal, unless it was a penalty. He had one goal, I think, from inside the box, and I think the caption of when they finally posted the highlight, it was like, yes, he can score from inside the box too.
It's funny you brought up a Portuguese player because prior to you jumping in, I was talking about how they just are pumping out so much talent out of this little country the past 5-7 years. It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, and I think you mentioned Fabio Silva right before I came on in the studio. He I would say, as a player, when if you kind of go, I follow Wolves, just fun team to follow. He was a bit of a victim of circumstance when he joined. I believe it was like Nuno's last season, and then coach changed. Bruno Lage came in. I think that was who followed up, and it was not very attacking football. Very defensive, very kind of depressing.
Do you think he's a decent player?
I think he probably just needs a change of scenery. It would maybe be a bit speculative of a signing because you don't know, you may not know if he can you kind of saw the flashes of where he was on loan last of being a clinical finisher and kind of adding that kind of spark and that dynamic kind of bit to the attack. I just think it could be more of the speculative in the sense that will he still have that confidence after being shipped out on loan every year after being I think he was one of their most expensive transfers and never quite fit in and had all these coaching changes and they had a lot of attackers too when around that time because they still had Raul Jimenez, Adama Traore. I think Diogo Jota might still been on the team at that point too. They had a lot
there.
Yeah, they had a lot of attack talent, and it was a crowded room, coaching changes. Yeah, so he was it was almost like
is that where Nuno Espirito Santo coached?
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, I remember that. That was that big Portuguese contingency that he had.
Yeah, they're still kind of like that. Not as they're very international, but yeah, they still kind of have a lot of Portuguese players.
Nuts.
But I would welcome it just because I already know who he is, but I don't know if it would be the best idea. But I don't know anything. I just watch the sport.
That's okay.
And just pretend like
we value you, Ben. Thank you. No, it makes me hearing your perspective does make me feel like maybe there's more to it. So you've clarified a couple question marks. Ben Clemens, thank you very much for coming on. Guys, we're going to end here. Drop a like, whatever. We'll talk soon, all right? Ciao.